Hey guys, it's Destiny, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you about the free-to-play Zela, or rather, I see it as a mini Zela, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. Zela is going to be the first banner of patch 1.0, which is going to be the first patch of Honkai Impact release, so once the game releases, Zela will be our first banner, and many of you may not actually be able to get her due to the fact that she is our first banner. So one may think, alright, what do I do if I don't have Zela? And there actually is a solution, which is a character named Shang. If I pronounce that incorrectly, I apologize. I'm going to be giving you the similarities between Shang and Zela, and how they kind of operate similarly, and why you can possibly use Shang instead of Zela in the case if you do not pull Zela. Another thing to mention though before I get into that, is that if the CBT3, which is the closed beta 3 banners, stay the same, Shang will actually be on Jing Yuan's banner, which is the banner that is right after Zela. So if that stays the same, that makes this even better. Additionally, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit the subscribe button and let's carry on. So let's begin with how Zela operates. Zela is a character that does quantum damage. She specializes in doing very high single target damage, and overall she's able to just whip out a lot of damage multiple times in a turn, just the fact that she has a thing called resurgence. So essentially what Zela is able to do is that with her resurgence, let's say that she KOs a little minion or a little enemy or any enemy on the field, it allows her immediately to act again. And this is only triggered once per turn, but there are ways to work around this. Like if you have Bronya is able to basically move your action forward by 100%, so you're actually able to move more than twice to 3 times with Zela if you have Bronya. And if you do a certain thing with your ultimate, which I believe it is KO an enemy, get resurgence, use your attack, then use ultimate, and because you use ultimate, it's considered a new turn if I'm not mistaken, which when that happens, you're basically able to move like 4 to 5 times if I'm not mistaken there. And basically Zela is just a powerhouse of a character. So a lot of people, when they go into the game, they'll definitely want Zela, especially because she is a quantum character, and we do not have many quantum characters currently in the game. If I'm not mistaken, there's only one other quantum character, which she is free. I have no idea how to say her name, but she is free. However, she does not operate anywhere near the way that Zela operates, and Zela is part of the Hunt, which once again, that specializes in single target damage. She has a lot of damage to single target enemies, and overall, she's amazing for your team. Now, the character that I wanted to discuss in today's video, as I stated, is Shang. Shang is also part of the Hunt, which also specializes in high DPS damage to single enemies. Shang is able to do something not necessarily the same as Resurgence, but it is an interesting thing that she's able to do. So basically, when Shang uses her ultimate, she's able to move her action forward by 100%. What this means is that if Shang uses her ultimate, she can immediately act again. So let's say you do skill, and then you do Shang's ultimate, and then you do Shang's like skill again or her normal attack. You essentially attack 3 times in a row with Shang. So Shang is also able to move her action forward and be able to attack multiple times in a turn, just like Zela. Shang is also able to buff herself. Not to say that Zela cannot, but Shang does also have that benefit of buffing herself. And I actually did pull Shang in the CBT3, and I personally think she's an amazing character. I had a really good time with her, and she was on practically every team just by how good she is. And I personally think she's one of the best free-to-play characters, or rather one of the best 4 stars in the game. Shang also has another thing, which is basically her sword stance. And what sword stance does is that when Shang does her skill or her ultimate, these little ticks will occur right after her skill. And what these little ticks do is just additional damage. And a way to get these little ticks to occur is essentially there's a 33% chance to trigger it. But if the enemy has their toughness meter or their weakness meter broken, sword stance is guaranteed to trigger. A thing I like to do with Shang is use her skill. And then if she does get sword stance off, great. If she does not, it's okay. And then let's just say the weakness meter is broken. Now ultimate, and the ultimate gives her skill 2 additional chances to trigger sword stance for 2 turns. What this means is that when I use Shang's skill again, assuming that the weakness meter or the toughness meter is broken, which is that white bar above the enemy's health, now when I use the skill, she does the initial attack, and then she also does 3 ticks of physical damage, and overall just it's really, really, really powerful. Her technique allows her to attack the enemy, and upon entering battle, she just does physical damage equal to 50% of her attack to all enemies. And then for her talent, when an enemy has a weakness break on the field, her speed increases by 15% for 2 turns. I think this is really good because she's able to increase her speed just by enemies having their toughness or weakness meter broken. And it's just really, really good. She's just a really strong character. And if you guys are not able to get Zela, I would highly recommend looking into Shang. She's such a cute character. I have her actually, if you guys have seen my YouTube channel, I do have Zela and Shang on my YouTube banner because I personally love both of these characters and I definitely want to use both of them. And I feel like Shang might actually be more easily accessible due to the fact that she is a 4-star. And I know the 4-star rates, they are a bit higher than 5 stars, but there's no guarantee you'll get a specific 4-star. But let's just say, hypothetically, she does get into the monthly rotation shop and you're able to buy her there. I would definitely pick her up. If I were to recommend any 4-star character for the DPS aspect, I would definitely recommend Shang, as she is incredible. She's able to be a mini Zela in a sense. I personally would not recommend though like playing both of them on the same team. If you want to, you can. If you can make it work, that's awesome. Maybe I'll try to make them work. I'm not too sure. But overall, Shang, I don't necessarily think she's as powerful as Zela. But then again, it does matter on what you're fighting. If the enemy is weak to quantum, then obviously Zela would be the better option. But if the enemy is weak to physical, Shang can definitely do a lot of work and definitely be the character you would want to bring against that fight. So it's very circumstantial which one you would want to use more in the case if you did have both. But once again, if you don't have both and you can only get one of them, and let's say you miss out on Zela, but let's say you've been pulling a bit and then you couldn't get her. But then the Jing Yuan banner comes and they keep the Jing Yuan banner basically the same, and you're able to ensure a Shang, or have a chance to get Shang, and you do pull her. Definitely use Shang. You could definitely try using Bronya and Shang together the same way that you would use Zela and Bronya together, where Bronya is able to buff the team, Bronya is able to also advance the action forward of the character. And if you don't have Bronya, that's okay, but I know a lot of people are going to be looking into re-rolling for Bronya just to have that Bronya and Zela combo. But if you can't get Zela, then of course try to get Shang if possible. Of course, though, I just wanted to make this video to let you know about Shang. I had a lot of fun with her, as I've stated in the closed beta 3. I think she's an incredible 4-star and definitely one of the best 4-stars in the game. If you guys have any questions about Shang though, or Zela, let me know. I tried to give you guys a little overview of what the character does in general, just so you have an idea of where they're similar, which when it comes down to it, they're primarily similar in the way that they can attack multiple times in a turn. Both of them, though, have different restrictions as to how they attack in a turn. Zela needs to be able to defeat an enemy, while Shang is just able to do it with her ultimate. So you do have to fill up the ultimate for Shang in order to do this, but I don't think it's too bad to get that done within fight. So yeah, I hope you guys, though, enjoyed this video. I hope it helped out, and if it did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment down below if you want to get a Shang now after this video, or if you guys overall are just really excited for the game and which 5-star you want most. I hope all of you have a nice one. Peace.